Hello, we're back at Seven Rivers Talk. This is Amy Peterson, and I'm meeting today with artist Cerny and Marianne Hansen. They are co-chairs of a campaign that we're talking about, and formally they are both moms yet, and also a salesperson and an English teacher. So we're not talking to formal politicians here, but ordinary citizens who have championed a cause, and that is fair elections. So we're talking first of all with artists, if you want to continue from where we were with our last break.
I just want to add a footnote to the whole referendum thing that we were just talking about. A referendum, you have to have so many signatures across the state, and once you get enough signatures, then they will put the referendum on a ballot, and this would have been on a statewide ballot. And if the citizens of Wisconsin would have voted in favor of this referendum, then our legislators would automatically have made it into a bill. It would not have gone to the governor where he could have vetoed it. Once the citizens decide, you go forward. So, but one thing we did try to do that I want to tell you about, and this was about a month ago, we did go to the Government Accountability Board and gave them a proposal of voluntary voter ID. And voluntary voter ID would have been, the citizen would have been able to go to their municipal clerk's office and ask that a notation be placed in front of their name that required the poll worker to ask for their ID when they came to the poll. So totally voluntary. No one that didn't want to do it would have to do it, but it would have been a way of protecting our votes. Right now in the state of Wisconsin, I could find out where you vote. I could go into your polling place, give your name and address, and they would hand me your ballot. I could fill out your ballot and I could walk out the door. That is how easy it is to steal a vote in the state of Wisconsin, and it has been happening. And but the Government Accountability Board, in their wisdom, decided that this would have been too complicated for the citizens of Wisconsin to do.
Well, the problem seems to me, if somebody stole my vote and I didn't get a vote, where do I go when I walk in and my name is crossed off? And then do I get a vote that counts? Whose do you take away if I want to add mine in?
Well, that's identified the problem. There, you've identified. The first person that got the vote got the vote. You would have been given a provisional ballot, and you would have had to come back and prove that you are who you are. Now, whether they could find your original ballot, I mean, that would have a number on it. That would have to be done through your clerk's office, but you would be the person put at the disadvantage.
So yeah, it's diluting the whole voting system again. So our voluntary voter ID proposal we did get quite a bit of press across the state for it, because a lot of people felt, well, yeah, that makes sense. Why can't we voluntarily do it? They would not allow us to do it. So.
Okay, so we will hear from Marianne next.
Well, how did we decide to go after
you didn't do the referendum. What did you do? What did you do?
Once we realized that we could not get the legislation passed under the current governor, because he vowed to veto it until he left office, and we could not do a referendum because we were not a big enough group, what could we do? And in the meantime, we were really trying to, again, continue to educate ourselves, and we actually were reading Wisconsin election statutes. And as we read through those statutes, we began to see that some very far-thinking legislators years ago had put into the statutes empowerment tools for citizens to have a very intimate and active role in our elections process. And as we got thinking about this, we thought this could be our project. We really could begin to educate our fellow citizens about what is expected of us in the elections process, what role we're supposed to be fulfilling. We can work on the inside of our elections as election observers, as a poll worker. We can become the eyes and ears working within our own communities, conducting the elections, observing the elections, being the ones who are watching the elections to be sure that what is going on as the election is being conducted according to law. So we have spent the last year and a half, basically, wherever people would listen to us, to give them the background information of what is in our laws and encouraging them to take up this civic responsibility. We are currently focusing on the election observer part of what the law entitles citizens to do, because it's time to get that project rolling. We have a September primary coming along. We'd like to let people know about what an election observer does and how to get involved in doing it. so that perhaps they could try it during the September primary, get a little practice, and be really very efficient and experienced observers come the November election, when we have a very important election here in the state of Wisconsin. What does an observer do? An observer simply observes. They watch the election as it is being conducted. There really is a need for a lot of election observers in the state of Wisconsin, because our elections are conducted in a number of different venues. 20 days before the election, you can do in-person absentee voting in your election clerk's office. There's also registration that goes on there. That is actual voting. It needs to be observed. That needs to be done according to law, and it, according to our state laws, is citizen responsibility to be the observer, to monitor those elections.
Are you finding that you have enough observers at this time, or do we need more?
We do need more.
Okay.
That's why we're promoting it, because we really don't think people know about this role that they can play. Anyone can observe an election other than a candidate who is running for office. But what we are trying to encourage people to do is to become trained observers. And there are several ways you can do this, but both of the political parties, the two major political parties in this state, the Republicans and the Democrats, have observer training programs. You can do this on your own, or you can do it by volunteering to the political party that most closely represents your philosophy. You would need to call your county party chairman to do that. We have, in our project, had a person who had been an observer and felt that what the state of Wisconsin needed was an observer manual that was easy for the average person to understand, a user-friendly observer manual, and she wrote one, and it's excellent, and it's up on our website at www.we'rewatchingwisconsinelections.org. We would invite you to take a look at it. It's very easy to understand. By July 1st, we should have up with that a PowerPoint presentation, which can be used as a companion to it for anyone who would be willing to look at it, try this, and would like to teach themselves or would like to work with a group. But we are encouraging people to go to the two major political parties for very specific reasons. The parties offer the training. The parties have resources that would be useful to you. The parties have the assistance of attorneys who can be very helpful when it comes to Election Day and there is a problem that you might need assistance with. This also would provide better scheduling for observers, and we wouldn't be duplicating efforts, because one of the responsibilities of an observer is to just observe, not to interfere with the voting process or the voters. We need an orderly process of election observing. So go on our website, look at our manual, take on this responsibility, get on the inside, be the eyes and ears of your community, and help protect our elections in that way.
This is Marianne Hansen, and together with Ardis Cerny, these are co-chairs of the We're Watching Wisconsin Elections campaign. We'll be right back.